And now we're at a bit of a difficult point. I have to choose between the Ume candy and the Jollypop Happy Apple, which was $9. I think I might actually save this for last as far as the candies go. So let's give the Ume candy, again from Tamagotchi, got it there for $3.50 at the Mall of America. Let's give this a try. Let's see here. So from what I can tell with the ingredients, let's see. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that. But Plum. Oh, okay. So far with the ingredients, the top two have been sugar and millet jelly, which I don't know what that is exactly. But the next ingredient, which is just like the Mario candies, lists a specific fruit flavor, and in this case it's plum. So, well, not exactly clear, but a very, well, yeah, I guess you would say it's kind of a clear candy. Oh, and it has something in the middle. So this is I guess gonna be one for the long run. I'll fast forward through me actually trying it, unless I have any comments to make, and then I'll let you know what the core tastes like. So, again, the Ume candy. Now, while I'm trying it, one thing that I definitely will say is the flavor is very different. It's not a flavor I'm familiar with. I'm not even sure if I've had plums, to be completely honest. I probably have, but a while back. And it's okay. It's not exactly a flavor that I would try or that I would want to have a lot. But at the same time, it's not bad. This is one of those that I feel like would probably be improved a little bit with the additional sweetness that comes with American candies. But again, it could just be a matter of, getting used to the taste or enjoying the taste of it. One thing in the instructions that does pique my interest, I guess you would say, but it says beefsteak - plant color. I'm not entirely sure what that's supposed to mean. Like the color that I saw in the middle, which I might actually open up another here in a little bit to show you up close. Maybe that's a specific color, I assume, is beefsteak, which is a really strange one. But I don't know if, like, by the time I get to the middle, I'm going to start tasting beef. That would be a bizarre experience, to say the least. But yeah, fast forward to the end when I get to the center of this thing. Okay, now again, turn away if this kind of thing grosses you out, but I do have a little bit of the candy left here, and I'm not sure if the zoom will work correctly or not, but yeah, I assume that by the beefsteak plant color, they were talking about the, bit of color there in the middle. And I guess the center is more of a concentrated plum, because it does, like, it mentions plum, and then farther down the list it says plum extract. So, yeah, I don't know exactly. It's very much an oddity for me. Again, it wasn't bad, but this is not a kind of candy that I think I would search out or really want to have just as a regular snack. I mean, I've got plenty of these, so maybe I will get used to it if I try it a few more times, but yeah, overall, it's okay. Not something I would recommend, but if you like the taste of plums, maybe you'll love it. I don't know. So yeah, so far, that's really the only semi-negative opinion I've had on these so far. But now we move on to the big guy. The honestly ridiculously small lollipop. Well, I guess some are smaller, but it's labeled as GMO-free, gluten-free, allergen-free, vegan-friendly. It's Happy Apple. I thought I saw something before, maybe when I bought it, that said it was organic. I don't know. But it's 5 cents short of $9. So, honestly, this had better be the best friggin' sucker I have ever tasted. Or, yeah, I just don't know. Now, there were other flavors to try, but this is the one that, I mean, it's Happy Apple, so the flavor name at least seemed familiar enough that, you know, it wouldn't really offend me if I tried it and, you know, don't like it. But again, and sorry it's kind of jaggedy, it broke apart in the meantime, but let's try the infamous $9 sucker. Okay, this one's a bit baffling, to be completely honest. Now, according to the packaging, and this is the way they market it, Jollypop, Happy Apple. You're not going to go back in the packaging, are you? I don't think it's going to go back in the package. Oh, there we go. There we go. But Jollypop, Happy Apple, a lollipop like they used to be. Natural color, homely taste. Maybe they mean like, tastes like home. Mouth-watering looks. It looks like a splat. Not really. Each lollipop is unique and carefully made with loving hands. It just takes you back instantly. I don't know exactly what they're wanting to take me back to, but in the lollipop's defense, I will say this. The flavor was very much that of biting into an apple. Now, given the color, I would expect a bit more of a tart flavor, like from a Granny Smith, perhaps. But, I don't know, I almost feel like this comes from more of a Golden Delicious apple, perhaps? Or whatever apple they might have made it from, but yeah, given the color and what I'm expecting with Happy Apple, I expected, I don't know, just a bit more. Like that, again, the apple flavor was very much there, just like with these other candies, at least the ones I could recognize. The flavor is there. You can tell it's made with like actual natural flavoring. Or juice, perhaps, in this case. But just biting into this thin, very strange sucker by itself, it's just, and all I taste is apple. There's no additional sweetness, which again, health-wise, is probably a lot better. But this is definitely, again, something that I wouldn't search out, even if it was cheaper. Again, $9 a sucker. And, well, like I was saying, for $9, I would hope that this is just one of the absolute best tasting suckers I could ever have. And as it stands, after trying it, I'm thinking, you know, I might snack on it while I'm editing a video, something along those lines, but I feel no reason to try out the other flavors. I mean, especially given that they're $9 each. So yeah, unfortunately, Jollypop I cannot recommend. If the day comes I ever actually do try some of the other flavors, I'll be sure to let you know about those, but based on this one alone, unless you really like the taste of apple and you really want to spend a fair amount on one sucker, I honestly can't recommend it. It honestly baffles me that they're selling these for this much at the Tamagotchi store. Again, it's probably because of taxes and importing, and I almost lost the packaging there. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. It's just very meh. So overall, before I get into my last little item I want to share with you all, the chocolate wafers, the Pokemon chocolate wafer thing. Again, the wafers were a bit bland, but the chocolate inside tastes really good. It tastes like chocolate should taste, in my opinion. So I give that a recommendation. Plus it includes a little sticker, which is adorable. And I'm sure they probably come with a bunch of different ones, so it's collectible. The Mario candies, except for, I mean, even the peach, which the only reason I didn't care for it is because I didn't immediately recognize the flavor, they were all good. So yeah, these Mario candies, I would say is the definite recommendation of the episode here. Definite thumbs up for that. The Ume candy, it might grow on me with time, but as it stands, I'm not a fan. If that changes, I will add some text perhaps here on YouTube or maybe down in the description below saying that my opinion on that particular one has changed. But as it stands, yeah, it's just not my cup of tea. And maybe I just don't like plums. But then finally with the Happy Apple $9 sucker. I mean, I just said it, but I simply cannot recommend it. It's not bad, but for spending that much on one candy, I expect so much more than what I got. And what I got was a sucker that tastes like an apple. And to be quite frank, if I wanted something that just tasted like apple, I would eat an apple. And it'd be a heck of a lot cheaper. For $9, you can get quite a few apples. So yeah, unfortunately, and no hate at all to the people with Tamagotchi or the people that make that, I simply cannot recommend it unless you are just very, very interested to see what it tastes like yourself. Which brings us to the last bit of the episode. I am going to be doing an upcoming episode trying out a bunch of these Japanese carbonated soda or Japanese carbonated soft drinks, and I figured I would end this episode with the flavor that I basically think is one of the least potentially offensive, and by that I mean much less likely for me to find gross, because some of the flavors do admittedly worry me, especially given what I've heard about some of them, like the lychee, I believe is one of the flavors. So yeah, you can expect to see that coming up. But today I'm going to be trying out the raspberry flavor carbonated soft drink from Japan. I believe it literally is from Japan. Distributed by California, New York. Oh, it's a product of Japan, so I don't know. Hopefully it's the real thing. But let's give it a try. There we go. Sizzle, sizzle. Or bubble, bubble, whatever. Well, this definitely has me interested to try out the other ones at the very least. Because just like with the other candies, the flavor isn't overly sweet. Like, I expected just this very, very tart, well not, raspberries aren't overly tart, but this tart and yet very sweet flavoring to it. But instead, it actually does taste more along the lines of just the juice of a raspberry. Let me give it one more try. That little marble is fascinating. And I think it actually limits how much you can actually drink. I don't know, I'll get into that more in the next episode, but yeah, this is very surprising, to be completely honest. It's not at all what I expected, and that's not a bad thing. It actually tastes really good. This would be something I would probably have at my desk just to drink while I'm editing or playing games, what have you. It's not overly sweet. I don't think it contains juice, does it? I think the labels for these are a little bit more stingy as to what they actually... Oh no, it actually does have... Oh, okay, so it's carbonated water, high fructose corn syrup, sugar, citric acid, artificial flavor. Now, considering it's high fructose corn syrup, often a lot of those things, especially here in the US, if it contains that, it's going to be very sweet. Like you have your Coke, your Pepsi, and all that. But this strangely isn't, so maybe even though they're using high fructose corn syrup, it's just in a smaller amount? I don't know, it's just really fascinating. Or maybe it's just really watered down with the carbonated water. But if you're going to give any of these a try, based on my experience with the raspberry flavor, I would say give it a try at the very least. Unless you're just very offended by the flavor of raspberry, at which point I would try a different one. But if you're like me, I'd say give it a try and just see what you think. But again, we're going to be getting into more of these on the next episode of Snack-Kenn, which will be an episode of Drink-Kenn, I suppose, which I've recorded something else that will be coming out later. I'll leave an update for that. But yeah, this has been really interesting. I'm very much happy that we got to try these out. I might actually cut this into 2 parts just because this took a bit longer than I expected, to be completely honest. But yeah, please take those recommendations and not recommendations of mine into account. If you've tried any of these, please let me know what your thoughts are down below. If you're interested in trying any of these, and maybe you live in the Twin Cities or you're in the US, let me know and I'll see if I can find some way for you to give them a try. Otherwise, I'll do what I can, but there's only so much I can do from the US, obviously. But until next time, everyone, I'm Papa Ken. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Snack-Kenn, and I will see you for the next episode with a lot more of these. Until then, everyone, Alonzi! So yeah, I mean, it's really quite good, and the wafer just hit the floor. Bloopers!